What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Universim Season 2. Happy New Year, and this is a Happy New Year from Creative themselves. Now, there is fireworks sound with it, but I'm among, and I muted it, so apologies for that. But there was sound with it, but to be honest, it did actually get annoying because there's no way of stopping it, and it goes on for quite a while. So yeah, this is Happy New Year from them and a Happy New Year from me, and let's get on with the episode. So straight in and celebrating their contraception ban again, so that means that we get more and more nougats, which is good. Happiness is poor. Now, at the time I'm looking at this and recording this, I am not aware why, but I will explain about that shortly after and why, and there is a solution and I do fix it. But the elephant in the room is that is, yes, a nuclear power plant. Yes, we unlocked it. Yes, I got it built. It was going to take forever. So I decided just to get it finished before I bored you guys with the actual crafting of it or the construction of it. So for reference, it needs 12 nuggets to run it, all of which have to be educated. So 12 educated nuggets, and it uses fuel. It then creates a fixed amount of power, which is 1000. For every nugget you take out of it, it then reduces that amount of power. It can melt down if you run out of water, so don't do that. And that, as of now, is the only parts of it I am aware of. Now, I'm not going to run out of water. I'm nowhere near going to run out of water, so I'm not too worried. If it goes boom, it does go very boom, which is why it's kind of right out on the outskirts. But strangely enough, the nuggets build around it anyway, so that is that. Just trying a hand here, because you can pick up water with the telekinesis power. And I wondered if I just dumped 1,000 or so litres of water into the volcano, would it put it out? The answer is no, it don't work. It just wastes water. 420, of course it is. 420 water into there. And I'm convinced it did make a steam. It did make some steam, yeah, that was steam, I think. But that's all it did, nothing else. So then, looking at the alert on the top, you can see that, yeah, somebody else is angry with us again. To be honest, it's getting to the point now where I'm building so quickly outwards that I'm just peeing everybody off. Simply because they don't want me building near them. So my solution for not building near them is wiping them out, wipe them off the face of the earth, and then just build where they used to live. That is what I'll do. I've got the army to do it, so we will do so. But we'll get to that shortly after. Right, so the actual reason for the negative face, which is the happiness, is the fact that we've built too many of a certain type of building. That type of building is the kinetic generator. Yes, we're back there again. So not only are they crap at providing power, they make everybody unhappy. Now, the Minister of Power keeps putting them down because we need to generate more power, but nobody's actually running on the ones we have. So we're not generating power for the buildings that we have. And because of that, the Minister of Power puts more down. And that incrementally increases the negative mood. And as it stands, where you can see it's currently orange, I've got like 20, 30 or whatever it is, there's loads. So my fix was quite simple. I sacked the Minister of Power and he will no longer exist, so that nobody will build anymore. And I went around and I think I knocked down, we will see later, I'll show it you, but I think I knocked down about 5 or 10 to bring that mood, loss down from that. So yeah. That is my solution. So yet another negative for the kinetic generators, and I'm pretty sure that's not how it's intended to be with the game, because people not using them, or the nuggets not using them, means there's not enough power, which means they build more and more and more of them, instead of somebody actually making the nuggets do their job and running them. Luckily for everybody, the nuclear power plant is up and running and giving us 1,000 power. You can see it down there in the bottom, it's 1,099. So effectively what you've got there, or 1024, effectively what you've got there is the nuclear power plant running, and pretty much none of the kinetic generators running, or one of them at least running, out of 20 odd. So yeah, we've established at least the science on that. Now again, the sound on this, there is a bit of background sound that I've tried to copy over to make it so it's not just monotonously silent, but the sound from the actual war fight won't be there because it was muted. So I have fixed that now. It's fixed fully moving forward, so any future episodes, or by the end of this episode and then future episodes, will have the sound as it should do. But once again, I send in the military to do what they do. So far they've been successful in every attack we've done. We do lose nuggets, but we do win the war. It is causing a bit of lag. I don't know what it is, whether it's the vehicles, whether it's the pathing or what, I'm not sure. They're not even using the bridge that I didn't put down for them anyway, so they just go around the long way. That's fine. But I've only got 10 helicopters, 10 tanks, 10 bombers, and 10 walking people, whatever you want to call them. There you go, Rangers. Thank you, game. But yeah, as soon as I say attack with all units, I do get a little bit of lag, and I wouldn't expect that, not with the power of the PC that I have. But whether it's a pathing thing or not, I couldn't tell you. Now, I did evacuate them there soon because I thought that I broke the main temple, and that means I could have destroyed them with the meteor storm. But as you've just seen, I didn't. The meteor storm actually broke the shield, and then the temple fell. So it was the other way. I did it back to front, really. But then a couple of lightning strikes, and I can finish off the buildings, not a problem. And for quantifying that, yes, you can and do gain new civilizations, enemy exile civilizations. But I'm not sure whether they come from the people that you leave over, because I don't kill every single person. I just wipe out the buildings, really, to leave the people. Or if it's just part of the mechanics of the game, I'm not sure. But at this point now, if they get in the way, I will destroy them. If they attack me first, I will destroy them. Else, I will just give them lots of freebies and make them very happy. So it's on them. Random fire in the middle of the city here. Fire people are on it, not a problem. Let's look at next steps. Oh, and there you see the unobtainium has been researched, so we finally get them building as well. And that one's a nice one because it's right in the middle of the city, so it should get built pretty quick. Another question I had upon the... I'm at that stage now where a lot of the lakes are getting polluted left, right and centre. And it's not the most fun, but it's not too difficult to manage. So this planet's not as bad as the other one anyway. But these little ones that keep getting polluted, they've only got 1,600 water in them. Now, I don't have enough creative points, but I'm wondering whether if I just drain it and then don't fill it up again, as long as we don't have a random freak rainstorm fill it up, we won't get the warning, maybe? I don't know. I don't need that little puddle. I'm not going to use it for anything. So it warning me that it's polluted is an annoyance. But yeah, this one we do... No, we don't use this one. It's a large one, but we don't use it. We're only using the main ocean, which is the 110,000 water one. At the top there you can see 23 kinetic generators, 2 down from on that list. 23 kinetic generators, and that is the problem. That I can't build parks quick enough to counteract that. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, we quashed that problem very shortly, I hope. And then something else I noticed that, I don't know, I probably should have thought about it really. It makes sense, but anyway. The acid rain clouds, polluted clouds that are flying overhead, every now and again drop a area of infection. As you can see, that green area there. You can just use your rejuvenate spell that you use for curing the other infection type, because that is classed as an infection zone. So rejuvenate onto that giant area of green. It will, obviously you didn't hear the sound, but it did do it, and then that will dissipate immediately and not infect anybody else. It will infect the water as it goes over it, but that's expected. It's happening all over the place anyway. So a rainstorm will get rid of 25% in most cases. And to be honest, that's only 40 creator points. If there's a way to just stop it happening, I'm still yet to find it. Anybody's comments on that will be really appreciated. I'm looking at the terraforming machines, but I really don't see why we should need to build them on the planet that's already terraformed. It makes no sense. And I can't see any like filters or anything to help keep the lakes clean. So maybe it's just part of the game mechanics and you're supposed to go around with your creative powers, or maybe I'm just building stuff wrong. Most of the buildings I did keep away from the coastline this time, but it doesn't seem to have made any difference. So that at least answers that question for us anyway. Okay, so now we can finally go into another expedition using the 30 people and 30 educated people this time. I'm not going to do the time lapse of the whole thing like I did last time, and to be honest, it takes too long, so I'm just going to let it play in the background as long as I know now what I need to do, and make sure when it pops up that they are encumbered that I will deal with it. Strangely enough, though, with 30 people sending all the things and stuff and things that they could possibly need, I get nowhere near as far. So you guys tell me, how far have you got? What's the limits? Do you get to the core? Do you get to the black area? Any further than my previous attempt, and any tips or tricks would be appreciated. Because at the minute it seems to be that no matter how many I send, it's counterintuitive to how far you can actually get. And then just coming back to another fight here, because they decided they were angry with me and then sent one of them bomber guys over towards my settlement. So I decided to send everything we've got to deal with them. Now, the actual bomber guys of ours and the rangers, I think it was called, the infantry, they very rarely get there in time anyway. They're all more of a clear up, which is good because their defences are much lower. So as it stands here, we're wiping out yet another exile settlement. You can see the bombers there on the right hand side, just coming in a little bit late, but at this point they've got no infantry to protect them from them. So they'll go in and immediately blow up that building, and down it goes. Nicely done. And here's some evidence of some decent RNG. So a tornado came in that was predicted it was going to. It then arrived on literally the opposite side of the planet. It's nowhere near us, it won't get anywhere near us, and it won't cause any damage. So at least, I feel like some games they always put the disasters like right smack in the middle of your city to class it as a difficulty setting, but this is more realistic in that it is just as random as you think it is. I chucked 2 whales at the tornado then. I didn't actually know I did that until I've just seen it myself. I was trying to chuck water on it to see if it puts it out. I think making it rain above it will stop the tornadoes sooner, but I'm still trying to get the exact science on it. But unfortunately I threw 2 whales at it there, so that's different. And yet another unobtainium. I am aware that that unobtainium building will not stand for very long because there's nothing to protect it. I'm just hoping that it gets to the 5 unobtainium before it falls to pieces. And there are a rain cloud over the top of the tornado, and it will dissipate very quickly, like so, unless it was a coincidence. So here we go, pushing into the space age. We are now putting down the first and most fancy building of this planet, and that is the Cosmodrome, which allows us to create the spaceships or rockets to get off the planet. After we get this, and as you can see, I'm farting around with it because I want to make sure that it doesn't obstruct the roads. I don't want any of the roads to be red because it screws up the vehicles and the nugget transportation, and it slows everything down. So yeah, getting the Cosmodrome down, immediately putting down an engineer's hut to make sure it doesn't fall down, along with a fire station because the two go hand in hand. I don't want nothing to burn down or fall down. Followed then swiftly by the Nuggetoid factory. So now we've got unobtainium coming in. You can see we've got them at the bottom. You know me and English today, it's terrible. At the bottom there is 9, so that is, you only need 1 per robot Nuggetoid. So yeah, there's 9 at least we can make already. You can only make 5 at a time though, so you have to make 5, wait for it to finish, and then make another 5. Just looking over here, and there's a lot of stuff falling down, and then I realised it's because I put so many batteries down, and although they are within range of an engineer's hut, they're only at the outskirts, and the engineer can't keep up, so I'm going to stick one in the middle of there. Yes, that is 9 batteries around the power plant, because I thought, well, if it's going to create more power than I need, I might as well store it. And then at some point, because I think we can hold about 14k power, we are currently on 7,800-ish. So if we get that to full, I can actually turn off the nuclear power plant and let it drain it, and then come back. As you can see, yet again the team are overloaded, just doing the micro mini game. They are already on the way back. I turned them round because, like I say, it was getting too dicey with the amount of weight they couldn't carry. Even with all 29-30 of the nuggets available, it was struggling. Now, you did see the numbers on that bridge is getting insane. It just showed it was nearly 10,000 crossings for this one bridge. Just showing you a quick overview of the bridge now, because it's nice to see it being used like this. But I am noticing a lot of people are walking, and that's a failure on my part. We don't have enough garages. I think I have 3 or 4 garages, so 300 or 400 people. But we have nearly 800. Yeah, we have 4 lot. So here I go, chucking down a load more garages to make sure every single person has and is able to use a vehicle. So after doing a bit of wrecking of the planet, I was looking for the unobtainium monoliths, statues, whatever you want to call them, to see how many there were and make sure I try and mine all of them. I only found, I think, 4 or 5, and that was the same on the planet before, so it doesn't necessarily mean that the larger planet gives you more. It to me seems that you get a fixed amount, 4 or 5, and then you have to go to different planets to get the additional. So obviously we know that when we went to the moon in the last series, there were more on the moon, so likely in this series we'll have to do the same, and then you send them resources from the moon down here to make the nuggetoids on this planet. Or if you want them on the moon, then it doesn't matter, you can use them on the moon. You just need the rest of the resources too. I think it's just unobtainium and electronic components. 1 unobtainium and 4 electronic components, I believe. And then just here I'm chucking in 2 courier huts because I haven't put any down in a while, and this area is going to get very busy when it comes to loading the rocket. So I thought, why not chuck in 2 courier huts to help keep all of the resources going. The nuggetoid factory is completed. The Cosmodrome, of course, is taking a lot longer because it's a lot bigger build, and it requires 15,000 work, which is quite significant. And then yet another pond or lake that needs resolving, and while I'm here I can see that this unobtainium extractor has finished, 0 out of 5, so it's collected the 5 unobtainium. It has no other purpose or use, so I'll rip that down and salvage as much of the resources as possible, which is quite significant because that's electronic circuits and plastic, which we don't have a lot of plastic. We also don't have a lot of fuel, but that's because of the nuclear power plant using it. But yeah, here's another one. So I actually had the common sense to quickly just jump on the list, and I'll look at all of the unobtainium extractors and make sure if they're no longer working, I'll rip them down. They don't require nuggets to power them or use them or run them, so you're not gaining any what would you call it, sort of workers back, but it just makes sense that it is not being used, not required, taking up footprint, and I don't know if it's doing anything to the environment, so I'll just rip it down and keep everything as tidy as possible. You can see I'm just noticing there that the fuel actually is going out faster than it's coming in, so I'll quickly jump over here and chuck down another fuel refinery to make sure that that number is in the positive overall. A lot of background noise going on there where I've copied something over, sorry for that. We will get to the proper sound soon and it won't happen again. So the Cosmodrome is nearly done and the nuggetoid is. We've now had the resources delivered, so you can see we can create 1. And it is in fact 1 unobtainium and 4 electronic components per nuggetoid. And you can build a maximum of 5 at a time, and each one takes 1 minute and 10 seconds to craft or build with a fully stocked nuggetoid factory of 6 nuggets. Now I am actually waiting because if I click start production now, it will make 1 and stop. I'd rather wait for the resources to come in so I can make the 5 in a row. I mean, it doesn't matter, but if I forget, then I'll have only made 1, whereas this way I know I'm guaranteed to make at least 5, which is the maximum you can make at a time. And while they're being made, the other resources will be delivered, so that as soon as that's done, I should be able to make another 5 straight away. And in total, we can make 10 because we have 10 unobtainium. Though there are other unobtainium miners being built as we speak, but they're not finished yet or up and running. They're also in the outskirts, so I don't know how quick they will get done. I really don't want to have to build any infrastructure over there, though, because they are quite far away, and this planet is ginormous. Just to keep you up to date, we are not slowing down with the research. As per, we're going straight through this last section of space research. There isn't really many places to choose. It's just a straight line with a few offshoots and one of the yellow science type things to learn back there for the transportation pods. But that will likely come when I actually get the expedition camp completion. The first courier hut is built, and as you can see, people are being stocked up in there, and the Cosmodrome in the background has just completed. So we'll take a look in there. But to be honest, at this time, there's not much we can do. because until we know we've got the resources we need to send, we won't be able to do anything with that anyway. And I'm not going to rush that. I want to make sure that we've got the infrastructure in place. Also, the transport pod thing that I mentioned needs to be finished so that we can send up resources willy-nilly as we like. And then make sure we've got a lot of creative points as well to get the forest and watering done too. That's the first Nuggetoid spawned in and immediately going to work on chopping down the trees that are in the way of the buildings. That's something that you can see they're overgrowing everywhere, not because it grows like that, but because I use the spell a lot to make sure we don't run out of trees, and it puts them absolutely everywhere. Now the Nuggets would keep that tidy if they didn't have any work to do, but I'm keeping them very busy, so they have too much work to do, and that is why the actual Nuggetoids themselves are having to do all of that work. Just topping up the main ocean here because we lost about 6% of the water in total. So I'm just topping that up with all of the creator points I have. But we are at time for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope 2024 is successful for everyone. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.